E ngā iwi, e ngā mana, e ngā reo, kia ora e te iwi. Welcome back to the 2025 Māori Touch Nationals at Rotorua International Stadium. We've had two excellent live stream games to start off the day. Open men's fixture between Ngāti Tūwharetoa and Tauranga Moana, followed by the 30 men's game between Tamatoa, Kirikiriroa and Raukawa Kiurunga. Ko Tivoli Guthrie tōku ingoa, and I am joined in commentary for this 30 mixed game between Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi and Waikato Tainui by Toby Fleming. Toby, how are you, bro?
Tēnā koe ho otara, tēnā tātou katoa, nau mai hoki mai no ki Rotorua. He kēmu tino hikaka kei te haere ko ēnei tima e rua. Ko tino kaha I tēnei ata, no reira kare kore ka tata, ka hikaka te kēmu kei te haere. Yeah, kia ora, bro. Kia ora e te iwi. Stoked to be here, honestly, as you say. An exciting matchup coming up. Two really strong teams, two strong iwi as well. They've been really on it this morning. Couldn't really call how this one's going to go.
Yeah, can definitely go either way. We've got Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi and Waikato Tainui. Waikato Tainui are looking pretty slick in their black and white strip with a splash of gold on there. And then Te Ātihaunui down from Whanganui in the black and teal. As we see the team lists coming up on the screen at the moment. Waikato Tainui players to look out for, definitely Brooklyn Moeke in the number 7, Keanu May Matawhio. Some of these players definitely players that have been around the traps, a couple of them from the Hauraki winning team last year in the open mix section. And Tiana Tiro is another one that'll be one to watch out wide. As we see the Te Ātihaunui team about to come up on screen very, very shortly. But in this open mix fixture, I should say, I thought it was a senior mix, but open mixed is this great. Toby, have you been around Māori Nationals? Have you been floating around sort of the grounds and taking in the atmosphere and the vibes?
Aira, koenei tōku wātua tahi ki te haramai ki tēnei kaupapa. Kua rau e katoa, kua rau e katoa, te taumato o ngā tāngata, engari ko te wairua ki konei, he pai, he whakahoahoa. Ko ra tētai ahuatanga pai o tēnei whakataitai. Ai he whakataitai rau atu, engari he pai tonu, kei reira tonu te whanaungatanga. Yes, this is actually my first experience of Māori Touch Nats. I've been enjoying going around and looking at the different fields this morning. And as you say, an incredible standard of touch, but also just a really good vibe. We've had the tunes going on, we've had the different iwi blasting, we've had a few speaker battles going on the lower fields. Yeah, great competition, but also just some good whanaungatanga going on in between all the iwi.
Yeah, that's what you come to expect at this tournament. Definitely over the last couple of years, and if you're around Rotorua International Stadium is the place to be. It's whānau. And if you're around Rotorua tonight, we've got the oh jeepers, I forget the name, but the kapahaka that'll be on full display as we see Waikato Tainui starting the game. Looking to run a little bit of a sweeper play. Here's Moeke. And the number 7 for Waikato Tainui. And throwing the link pass, ball over the top, and that's exactly the way that they'd want to start Waikato Tainui. They managed to strike first. Well, actually, we've pulled this one back. The referees have managed to pick up an infringement. Forward pass, I think, might be the call there.
Aira, he mea tino whakahirihira kia timata pai ai I nei kēmu whakahirihira hei whakatau ia koe anō. As you say, in these games, especially in these big competitions, how you start is so massive. You want to settle the team down, you want to settle the nerves, and lay a good platform going forwards. As you say, tino tere tera, terapia he wero tera mā ngā kaiarai o ngā tāngata I te pango me te kahurangi. Perhaps a challenge early on there for the team in the blue and black, showing plenty of speed from dummy half of the Tainui team. That might be something to look out for.
Right, as you see Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi coming into half and scooping out a half, but scooping from a long way out. So a great defensive start there from Waikato Tainui as well. But Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi, they'll just want to settle things into the game. And a little bit of physicality coming in early from both males and females. So if you are new to the sport, we have 3 males and 3 females on at the same time in this game, the open mixed. And definitely something that is unique to touch, Toby.
Aira. Ko engari he taumata pai tēnei, ai he tino pai ngā tima tāne, ngā tima wahine rānei. Engari ko tahitanga, ko te mahitahi o ngā wahine me ngā tāne, he mea tino motuhake o tēnei hākina kina, as we see the first try come in for Waikato Tainui. But as you say, it's something unique about this sport. It's amazing to see the open women's and the open men's, but seeing the interplay and the teamwork when you have the mixed teams, it's really a unique style of touch.
Definitely is, and we see that combination right there, the long ball going right out to the wing. And that was Rino Day crossing over for Waikato Tainui. And bit delayed from when they first wanted to get over the try line from the first set of the game, but they managed to cross over there. And now they take a 1-0 lead in the opening exchanges as Te Ātihaunui looking to come back. Stepping off the left there, it was Robbie Mischewski.
Yeah, hua whatia i ona ake. Punga i takiwā, breaking his own ankles a little bit there, just losing the footing. Physios on the sideline got up for just a second.
Very physical touch there from Waikato Tainui. Lucky to get away with that one, in my opinion, as they still look to scoop through. Have they managed to link up there out on the right-hand side? Bit of a hui going on between our Kaitakaroa and Kaiwawao and Robbie Mischewski. He is the beneficiary of a rangi-kui scoop through. Just used the footwork and then linked up to score the try there.
Mehe mea ka pātai kau whakautua, aka whakautua tere tēnei tīma, as you say, ask and you shall be responded to. Not wasting any time to get one back as the team in the blue and black. Pretty quick start to this game. Do you think perhaps the endurance might be a big factor at this kind of speed of play?
It does, yeah. It does play a huge role. As you see, Waikato Tainui looking to step off the left, and touches made there from Te Ātihaunui. Yeah, conditioning and fitness levels, they definitely do play a big part, especially in the opens grades where it is a little bit faster. And in the open mixed, I don't think the speed is any less just because there are a mixture of males and females on the field. Your conditioning has to be very, very top shelf if you want to compete at this level. And Te Ātihaunui, their defence holds firm at this minute. And then looking to use the ball nicely out on the left-hand edge and then look to get some fresh legs onto the pitch.
Nei, kukuri whakamuana ki tēnei taha tata. Whakawhetiana ki Wainganui, driving up the left-hand side and looking to shift it back into the centre. Good, strong defensive line from Waikato Tainui at the moment. No gaps opening up. Now looking to push up a little bit further. Goes for the long ball out to the left. And that one goes to ground.
Yeah, there was a scoop out of half there from Petera Pātea. And I was quite impressed with the rucking there from Michaela Heka as well from Te Ātihaunui. And this team from Whanganui, they get a repeat set down on the 7-metre line. We'll see what Waikato Tainui's defence is like on this occasion as we approach the 5-minute mark in this first half. Looking to run a quickie. Just looking to dive in between the link in the middle. Shouts from the box from Te Ātihaunui. That was a close call there.
Aira, i te tū, i te whakanui ke, e tahi o ngā kai tautoko. Some of the sideline were already up and celebrating that one. Perhaps a little bit of a late call, but ref's judgment is the ref's judgment. Me te mihi atu ki ngā kaiwa wao katoa kua tai mai ki tō tātou nei kaupapa. And a big thank you also to all of the amazing people in the blue uniforms who have come to our kaupapa to support these games. Yes, we do love to give them some stick at times, but the referee is really the foundation of the sport. So we do send out a big mihi to all of them giving up their time to support tēnei hākina kina.
Now Te Ātihaunui with a repeat set down on the 7-metre line. Looking to run a wrap play, long ball going out to the wing. Yeah, we talked earlier, Toby, about the wind playing a factor in this one. It is at the backs of Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi at the moment. What kind of effect do you think that'll have on the game?
Kia hau nei tērā pēr ka rereke te tere o te Ātahaurangi e tākoroa mai te matau ki te maui e pēra ana hoki te hau. Perhaps just the speed of play a little bit, but also as you see that long ball that was out to the left just drifting forwards. So if you're playing from right to left with the wind at your back, it might affect the way you can use those long passes and the accuracy. That ball might get pushed either way. Perhaps might be going for a little more of a tighter style of play.
Now Waikato Tainui looking to dummy and go through. And then an excellent touch there made from Rehimana Meihana. Now just looking to ruck down on the left-hand side. And yeah, a little bit of an infringement at the ruck. A voluntary roll ball is the call. So rolled the ball without being touched. And now Waikato Tainui. Yeah, the speed of the game at the first, we're about halfway through, or just under halfway through this first half. The speed of the game has been very, very impressive.
Ai, ko te ahua nei kāre rātou i te pōturi haere, and it looks like they're not slowing down as well. Engari, kora tētai ahuatanga o e nei tima e rua, he tima nui, he maha ngā whakawhiti, no reira ka tai e rātou te pērā tonu, pai noa ki te mutungo o te kēmu, as you say. Two big teams, plenty of substitutions, so you just think that they're not slowing down yet, but this pace might actually be kept up with the depth of these two squads. It shouldn't be too much of an issue to keep the play going this way.
Yeah, so it is quite early in the touch season. Some of the more major tournaments around Aotearoa would have started maybe a month ago. And so some of the players that are out there on the field that have taken part in those tournaments definitely looking in very, very good shape. As we see Te Ātihaunui, they managed to dummy and go through. And Ioane Aki crosses over for Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi's second of the morning. Well taken try there.
Pai ea ne tuku ana I ona kai ārai ki ngā tō I taua wā, mai tōna matau te maui, the little toipa as well. Oh, sent the defender to the shops, the little right-left step and then the dummy. Absolutely nothing they could do about that one.
And now they take a 2-1 lead, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a ding-dong battle between these two teams. In the open mixed grade, as we see Brooklyn Moike working with Campbell. And then Jolly there, Moike throwing the long ball out to the left. Tell you what, the wind had no effect on that pass. Money ball there from Brooklyn Moike, and Waikato Tainui strike back there.
Ai māma noi ho koira te āhuatanga o tētai rautaki pai. Kaua e whiwhiwhi, kaua e po he utonu ki tō rautaki, utonu ki o whakaro. That's something you do like to see, just a nice simple strategy. You don't want to overcomplicate it, you don't want to try too many trick plays. Just nice and easy, draw the defender, ball over the top, try in the corner.
Yeah, and just on our conditions, it is a little bit overcast here, although we do have a dry track, the rain staying away for today, so excellent conditions to play touch in. Players on the field just having to combat this wind at the moment. As you see, Te Ātihaunui, great body evasion there from Tyler Edwards. Just pulling the head back, looking to dive over the line, but a great touch there from May Matawhio.
Ai rā, engari ko te simnako nei kapiki e nei kapua hei ākua nei, tērā pēr ka panoni te āhuatanga o ngā kēmu hei te ahiahi. Forecast does say hopefully this cloud should lift soon, might change the aspect of the game. Thought that was an ooh there, but looks like they just managed to get the touch on. Last gasp stuff.
Yeah, well, they thought the touch count had ended a touch earlier, Waikato Tainui, but Te Ātihaunui playing to the whistle. Great late cut there from the link. I think that was Michaela Heka once more maybe. And then diving over, but an excellent diving touch made there from Waikato Tainui. So yeah, definitely a controversial call there, whether it was ball down or touch made first, but Waikato Tainui, the call goes their way, and now as a result, they're looking to work towards the 7 metre line. Scoops comes out of half. Looking to run a bit of a goosey out to the right, but great touch made there from Te Ātihaunui.
Tika tau whakaro e pāna ki ngā hengareti e rua, tai e ana tino koi. Me mihi atu ki te kaitoi I whakaahua hi era hengareti o Waikato Tainui. As you said before, perhaps a little bit off kaupapa, but those singlets for Waikato Tainui are oh so clean. Big shout out to whoever designed that one. Look good, play good, I think is the mantra for them.
I think that should be the mantra that applied everywhere. Look good, play good. And then speaking of our uniform suppliers, the official one of this tournament, KBS Sportswear, who also supply a lot of the uniforms around the grounds for many of the teams around here, around the 2025 Māori Touch Nationals. Every single team, I think, is looking supreme and looking really slick in their gears.
Aira, kua tāhei hau tētai pōtai mai a mātou ki te raki. Pontakoro hariko rā aso hau ki taua mahi. And I've actually managed to pinch a little cap from mātou ki te raki. So I can tell you firsthand, definitely easy to wear.
Waikato Tainui, there's Jolly, looking to set a great platform there. Moeke comes out of half, looking to use his right to left pass again. A little bit wayward there on that occasion though, and Te Ātihaunui, they managed to survive that set. So the score's still level at 2 apiece with just under 5 minutes left to go in this first half. If you're just joining us, this is our third live stream game of the day at the 2025 Māori Touch Nationals at Rotorua International Stadium. It's an open mix fixture between Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi and Waikato Tainui. As they look to run a little pop-out play here, Te Ātihaunui, ball just going to ground though, and Waikato Tainui will get the turnover just inside their half.
Ai, ko ngā he ahua whakaapapana I nei wā mō ngā tima e rua, tērā pēr ko te ngenge tērā e hua mai ana nā te tere o te timatanga o tēnei kēmu. We're seeing a couple mistakes just starting to stack up for both sides. We talk so much about the energy that they came out with at the start of the fixture, perhaps a little bit of fatigue starting to creep in and just affecting those passes.
Waikato Tainui now with a couple more touches up their sleeve as they look to run a sweep, a very sloppy ruck there. A bit of physicality at the ruck, and the referee has picked up on an infringement. And if you are new to our sport as well, 2 more penalties on the 7 metre line committed by Te Ātihaunui will result in one of their players being excluded for a period of time. Doesn't look like it's needed though, as the pass comes out to the right hand side. It's that Hauraki connection, Keanu Mai Matawhio throwing that pass for Tiana Tiro, and she crosses out on the corner.
Te whakamutunga pai me te mea ko DWZ, te takahuri e te kōkona, Ngāwari noa, the DWZ style finish, the little forward roll just to put the icing on the cake. Lovely little piece of work in the corner.
So Waikato Tainui, they regain their 1 try advantage. Tiana Tiro, you won't see her sub too many times out on this right hand wing. She plays for the Touch Blacks as well as the Māori Touch New Zealand team as well that went on the New South Wales tour last year, or earlier this year I should say. But in saying that, Te Ātihaunui, just like that, they managed to strike back and they draw things up level once more.
Tino tere, ko taua ki anga no mehe mea ka pātai ka whakautua, ko ora te ahuatanga o tēnei tima mai a te Ātihaunui. That is, as we said before, ask and you shall receive an answer. And that's been the way that they've played this game so far. It has been very much one for one. Extended periods of play where neither team's managed to find the line, but it do tend to come in clusters, wasting no time to find a response there.
Now, Waikato Tainui, if the trend continues, then they'll put one on here as Moeke looks to use that long ball once more. Great defensive positioning, though, from Te Ātihaunui. And now they look to run a bit of an away set, going away from their sub-box before shifting back to the middle of the field. So, yeah, a little bit of wrinkle in their play there from Te Ātihaunui. A bit of a slightly wayward pass there. Just managing to pick that up, though. And now they're crossing over halfway. A little bit physical at the ruck. And just getting their wires crossed at the moment, but still getting a pick on the back end of it as they look to scoop to the left-hand side. They managed to slice through. He's gone through once more, and then they've gone bang, bang. Ioane Aki sets up Petera Apatia, and Te Ātihaunui, they go back-to-back, and they score to go up 4-3 in this one.
Aira, te rapea koe nei te wātuatahi kei a Te Ātihaunui here, painga ki tōku mōhio. I think it's probably the first time that Te Ātihaunui have actually had a lead so far in this game. Been very much on the back foot thus far, just keeping up with the play, trying to stick to the Waikato Tainui coattails, but on this occasion taking the initiative and grabbing that lead. Ko taiti miniti e toina I tēnei haurua tuatahi, no reira, mehe mea ka tae rātau, te arai pai tēnei wā, te arai pia koe rā, te kianga whakamutunga o tēnei kēmu. Just a minute to go in this half. If they can have a good defensive set here, that might be the final say of this period of play.
Yeah, Waikato Tainui, bit of space on the left. Yeah, and that's excellent defensive pressure there from Te Ātihaunui. And I think you're right, Toby, scoring that. That might be the last scoring play of the half, although with just under a minute. You can never count out this Waikato Tainui team. 1 minute is plenty of time to score a try, as we see Te Ātihaunui crossing over halfway. A couple more touches up their sleeve. Scoop comes out of half. Excellent link pass, but ball just going across the face and can't quite reel that in. And so ball goes to ground.
Tino tata, mehe mea ka taia te whai, te hopu I taua, whiu rā kare e kore he uka I te haere. So close. If he had got his hands on that one, you just felt that was going to be a try. He found the gap, found the space. The connection just letting them down the end. But great signs for Te Ātihaunui still going into this half. Probably carrying some momentum into the break, you have to say.
I would think so, yeah, especially scoring just before half-time. But as I mentioned earlier, you can't count out this Waikato Tainui team. With 5 seconds left, we'll hear the hooter very, very shortly as they go and play through. Tiro crosses down. I think the touch was claimed by Michaela Heka a little bit earlier in that passage. Yeah, it was claimed. And so a touch and pass is the call. A very, very important touch to hold on to their lead made there from Heka.
Aira te kai arai whakamutunga, the last defender getting it done. Te rapea koera, aira koera te mutunga o te haurua tuatahi ko te tima mai Te Ātihaunui e tōna mā te tahi whāki te toru o Waikato Tainui. That is the end of the first half. It is the team from Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi up by 1, 4-3 over Waikato Tainui. Engari tatarau atu taua haurua tuatahi. Such a close first half of play. No doubt more of that to come in the second period.
Get your Christmas entertaining all wrapped up.
Marquee 3-piece Lamai corner sofa, only $388. Lightworks 12.4 metre multicolour fairy lights, just $12.50.
We've got what you need for Christmas Day. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
You found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather 20 years ago.
E te ti e te tai hoa mānau mai hoki mai anō ki te whenua mato o Rotorua ki tēnei te haurua tuaro o te tātou nei kēmu ko te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi. E toa ana mā te tahi whā ki te toru ki rungi e Waikato Tainui. And ko sino tatatau wa haurua tua tahi kare kore ka pera no tēnei haurua kei te haere. Kia ora everyone and welcome back to the lush pastures of Rotorua. To what has been an exciting matchup between Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi and Waikato Tainui. The team in the blue and black up by 1, 4-3 at the break. Such a close first half. My name is Toby Fleming. Alongside me we've got Tivoli Guthrie. Tiv, how are you going to call this one? Oh, so close. You really don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, well, I think I had my money on Waikato Tainui throughout, before the first half kicked off. But I think as we saw the action unfold throughout the entirety of that first stanza, Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi, they definitely look the part, both in uniform and in their style of play on the field. But they're very well connected, as you need in this mixed grade, and they definitely had the upper hand, I think, in that first half. I think Waikato Tainui, they have a couple of players from the Open Mix winning Hauraki side from last year. They have managed to peg a couple on the board, but Te Ātihaunui, I think they've got a well-deserved one-try advantage coming into the second half.
Haera, ko taua hau, e pupu I tonu ana mai te matau ki te maui. Tērā pēr ka āwhina tērā I a Waikato Tainui tēnei haurua tuarua. That wind still blowing quite strongly from the right of screen to the left. Waikato Tainui now with the wind at their backs. Do you think maybe that might help them a little bit in the second period?
Well, I think if Brooklyn Moeke has anything to say about it, it won't affect him at all. We saw him throw a couple of pinpoint passes in that first half. But Te Ātihaunui, they definitely struggled with the wind at their backs in that first half. So it'll be interesting, actually, to see whether they can combat that coming into the second half and whether Waikato Tainui will be able to do the opposite, as we see a great amount of yards made down on the right-hand side there from Olivia Georges. There's Moeke on the field with the ball in hand, looking to dictate play, working with Jolly and Campbell. The ball goes back to Moeke. Great read defensively there from Heka. And she's made a couple of important reads for Te Ātihaunui.
Aira, he mea tino whakahiri tēnei mā Waikato Tainui kia ui te utuatai o tēnei haurua. So important for Waikato Tainui to get the first try here. 1 point deficit, easy to get back, but once you get to 2, you get to 3, that lead can start to extend a little bit. Early momentum going to be important for the team in the white and black.
Tika Tobo, and I think if that pass there had just gone to hand, that would have been exactly the try that they were after, but a bit of a wayward pass out in front, couldn't quite convert, and now Te Ātihaunui looking full of running coming out of the sub-box as Aki Scoot comes out of half. And I think the thing that I've been most impressed by with this Te Ātihaunui is their discipline and being able to stick to structure, stick to process on that occasion, finishing their set with the ball on the same side as their box, and as a result, Waikato Tainui trying to get the ball to their box on the opposite side of the field, coming up with a loose pass and committing the error.
Aira, he mea tino whakahiri tērā. I ki koe ai e tōmu tono na mātou I tēnei wāhanga o te pāwhutu pōro no reira ko aua honunga. Tērā pēr kare anō kia tino whakakahatia. As you say, still early in the season for touch. Perhaps one of the challenges for these teams is, have those connections been strengthened enough? Do they have that interplay that's going to deliver each and every time? Ko te āhua nei, kao he, pā, nā te kai, ārai whakamutunga. Thought for a second there'd been a try there. Touched by the last defender. Close one for Te Ātihaunui.
Yeah, almost managed to cross over there. Patia just going through quite easily. A bit of a bobble at the roll ball. And the ruck is the call from the referee, and they'll look to get some fresh legs onto the pitch. Yeah, that cohesion, definitely difficult to establish this early in the season. But as I mentioned, there have been a couple of tournaments already, and so these players, no doubt, their conditioning will be on point. As we see Te Ātihaunui, great touch there from Rino Day from Waikato Tainui, just getting her hand in the lane, knocking that ball to ground, and if it wasn't, then I think that would have been a try for all money there for Te Ātihaunui.
Aira, kua ahua taua ke te timatanga o tēnei haurua ki te haurua tuatahi. Tērā pēr kua whakatau rātau I rātau anō, ko taua hīkaka. Kua whakatau rea ko te ahua nei, he utera.
Yeah, Paiki Ponga just looked to dive over, and it would have been a try for all money as well, but just losing the ball at the last second. And so unable to extend the lead, and Waikato Tainui, they come up with the penalty, rucking off their own try line. And now they'll look to cross over into enemy territory, looking to expand the field and stretch this Te Ātihaunui defence a little bit further. Great drives, a pair of them back-to-back made from Kieran Atkinson.
Ia hau e ki ana āhua tauake tēnei haurua. Ki te tatau I te haurua tuatahi, tino tere āhua horo ngā tima e rua. Nō reira, kua whai rātau I ā rātau whakatakotoranga me ki. As we see, as I was saying, it's a little bit more settled than it was in the first half. Both teams came out so quick and perhaps a bit rushed at times. Both of them just settling into their structures a little bit more and the pace of play just starting to get a little bit more calculated.
And a little bit sloppy there for Waikato Tainui. Yeah, the first half definitely would have been a little bit of a feeling out process and seeing what the opposition was able to throw out there, both on attack and defence. And the halftime chats, no doubt, would have seen plenty of chat around where the opportunities were. And Te Ātihaunui able to take advantage of that in the early exchanges of the second half. Play through is the call. Mashevsky goes through. He finds a teammate. And Te Heru Reo Koro goes over for Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi. And you mentioned earlier about the one-try advantage being stretched out to two. That's exactly what they've managed to do there.
Aira, he wā tino whakahirire tēnei mā Waikato Tainui. Kia kā tonu, kia hīkaka tonu ahakoa taua u. This is now a crucial time for Waikato Tainui. They need to bring the energy. As I was saying, the 2 becomes the 3 and it gets out of reach. The most important thing is how you can respond. So a really important set for the team in white and black to try and find a good answer to this Te Ātihaunui push.
Just looking to bring defenders forward. Quickie play from Keanu May Matafil. And play through is the call. Yeah, excellent play there from May Matafil. He just danced around on the 7-metre line, looking to draw Te Ātihaunui defenders forward. And once he got multiple attracted to the ruck, able to run that quickie, sliding the ball over the line. Great try there from Waikato Tainui.
Aira, I pirangi rātou I tētai whakautsu, ai whai rātou I tētai whakautsu. Kua pērā no te haurua tuatahi, ka taimai ngā u I ngā kohinga me ki. They wanted a response, they found it quickly, and it was like that in the first half. The tries coming in groupings or clusters, you could say. One team scores, another team responds. You tend to see that scoreboard changing in quick phases and then extended periods of gaps in between. Both of these teams really well aware of how to hit back. And once more, Te Ātihaunui wasting no time. Nā kaiwa wawe hui ana. The ref's just having a little discussion. Might have spotted something there.
I think there will be a question mark over the second to last pass, whether it was a touch and pass or not. Yes, I think what the penalty is for, what our Kaiwawao have picked up, is that there was an infringement made from Te Ātihaunui, but the first infringement before that was Waikato Tainui being offside. So the penalty goes back for the first infringement, which is why Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi have the ball back. Looking to dive over in the corner there, but nothing quite coming for them on that occasion.
Tukahana, te pātū o Waikato Tainui tēnei wā. Waikato Tainui wall standing strong at the moment. Te Ātihaunui, is that the way through? It is. Āhua commentators curse tērā nōku. Me taku aroha kia Waikato Tainui katoa, and my apologies to all of Waikato Tainui, putting the jinx on that one.
That was Tree Hawira there, just running that quickie play, throwing the short ball to Rangi Kui. Jolly, I think, did make the touch, but it was before Kui had possession of the ball. And so the touch is not affected. Playthrough is the call. Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi, they regain that 2-try advantage, and I suppose that's the dangers of letting in that second try, isn't it, Toby? You let in that 2-try buffer, and then you're always playing catch-up as we approach the back end of the second half.
Aira, engari ko te mea nui kia kaua rātau e hānea haere. Aira, kei a rātau te painga I naia nei, engari ka tere whakamutua taua āputa e Waikato Tainui mihi mea ka tai e rātau. Yes, they have got that advantage to Te Ātihaunui, but the important thing is they don't get comfortable. Waikato Tainui will not need too many times of asking to shut that gap off, so need to stay alert, need to stay aware, but that 2-try buffer is definitely going to help.
It was a great shot at length there from Meihana, as Waikato Tainui looking to run a little bit more expansive. So they look to throw that out ball, and that's a couple of great defensive plays there from Rehimana Meihana for Te Ātihaunui. Now Waikato Tainui, they'll want to hit back here desperately. May Matafil throws a long ball out to Tiro. Ball just dips down in front of her, and that's ball to ground. So Te Ātihaunui, their defense holds firm at the moment.
Aira, tērā pia e taura tēro o te hau, e raueke ana I ngā mahi a Waikato Tainui. Just an example there of the wind perhaps just affecting the Waikato Tainui plays. Long ball's very difficult when you got that breeze blowing. Ka pehea koe e whakatauri te pia I tau āhuatanga. How can you balance out that wind-affected nature?
Te Ātihaunui, beneficiaries of a penalty there. Just a little bit too physical at the ruck is our call from our adjudicator. And now with a full set of 6 starting from halfway, they want to get down to the 7 quick, smart, and have as many attacking opportunities down at the line as they can. As Pātea, he's been dangerous throughout the entirety of this game, working well with Aki there. Pātea back to Aki, steps off the left, steps off the right. And touches made there from Waikato Tainui.
Ko pera te nuinga o ngā tāngata mai te Ātihaunui. Rata pāna rātau ki ngā hōkai, ki ngā tohipa. Ahua whakato i e takiwā. We've seen that aspect from the entirety of the Ātihaunui team. They love their steps, they love their dummies, not afraid to run the ball. Waikato Tainui perhaps a little less free when they've got ball in hand.
Yeah, they have that freedom of expression, don't they, Te Ātihaunui? With a little bit of structure sprinkled in, so it's definitely seeming to work well for them so far. They're up by 2 with just over 5 minutes left in this second half. Now looking to run a bit of an out ball there, step off the left, and that's a perfect blend, a perfect combination of those two things we just talked about, isn't it, Toby? A little bit of structure and then a little bit of flair to finish.
Aira, i nāia nei e toru ngā piro te rerekētanga i a tātou ki te ana i te Papahua no, as we see the replay there. 3 points now, the difference. Nō reira, mehemea ko koe te kaiko e tēnei tima mai a Waikato Tainui. Hea hau whakaro au whakatena tena pea ki au kai tākaro ki te whai whakautsu i enei miniti e whā e toi ana. So if you were the coach for Waikato Tainui, what kind of encouragement, what changes perhaps are you making with your team to try and find a response in the remaining 4.5 minutes?
Well, when you're playing catch-up, Toby, it's quite easy to, I suppose, just continue to stick to structure. I think the change-up needs to be, though, that because they're chasing the game, they need to be able to force the issue. And what I mean by that is just apply a little bit more pressure defensively, be a lot more direct with your attack. As we see there, they managed to scoop through and peg one back, but I think it's this half of the field, the defensive half of the field, where they're going to have to apply a lot of pressure and force Te Ātihaunui into some errors and force them to be uncomfortable.
Aira, kia whakatere i te āhuatanga o te kemu nei. Mehemea ka tau, ka pōturi, he pai tērā kia Te Ātihaunui, ko te mea nui, kia whai ngā ara hei whakararu i a rātau. Koira tētahi ara mā rātau ki te whai whakautsu, as you say. They need to keep things quick, they need to find ways to trouble Te Ātihaunui. If the game settles down, you can see Te Ātihaunui just slowing down the play, taking their time. If the game does get set, that's not going to work well for Waikato Tainui. They need to try and just switch things up here and keep that pace of play up.
Excellent diving touch made out on the corner there from Tiro. And there was great connection there from all the Waikato Tainui defenders there as well, as Heka looks to scoop through, and that's not a bad play. The ball does go to ground, but the turnover for Waikato Tainui is all the way on this side of the field. They're going to have to spend 1, maybe 2 touches getting the ball to their sub-box. And there's that defensive pressure as well from Te Ātihaunui. And they get a repeat set down on the 7, and I would dare say they've got one hand on the winner's cup in this one.
Aira, e toru ngā miniti e toi ana, e rua ngā piro te rerekētanga, he maunga mā Waikato Tainui ki te piki. Engari, tērā pia ka tai e rātau, ko rā te āhuatanga o ngā tāngata mai a Tainui, e kore rātau e tūohu. Yes, 2 points the difference, 3 minutes to go. A mountain for Waikato Tainui to climb, but if I know anything about Waikato Tainui, they don't give up easily. They are a fighting iwi, that's for sure, so they'll be definitely believing they can find a way back into this one, but it's not going to be easy.
Looking to throw a lot at them. Great identification there, though. I think that might have been Campbell there defensively. It was indeed Campbell from Waikato Tainui. He saw that bounce-in play was coming from the Te Ātihaunui link, able to come across and make the touch. And now Waikato Tainui, they've got the turnover. Now next job is to find a conversion on the back end of this set. They've got one more touch in coming. And looking to use his speed on the outside. And I think he was through if he had his time over again. Yeah, he knows. If he had his time over again, dummy and slicing through would have been the play there for Tidal Green.
Aira, he ahei ngā noa kua ngaro, and yet another opportunity lost for Waikato Tainui. Kua pai rātau ki te whai i ngā aheinga i ngā ara. Engari, kari anō rātau kia tino pautorea. They've been good at finding those opportunities in this half, but they've just had a couple passes towards the left-hand side, a couple drives up the centre where their handlings let them down. They've had the opportunities, just haven't quite managed to make them stick.
Yeah, and they're a classy outfit, so if this one does end up going down as a loss, I know that they'll come back bigger and better as the tournament progresses. And Waikato Tainui with just over a minute left. And yeah, they're wanting to go north to south pretty quickly.
Engari, me mihi hoki kia te Ātihaunui ki te tau o tā rātou tākoro, te mā nawa kua whakāturia i a rātou. And also, you just have to give a massive credit to te Ātihaunui. They've shown some great patience in the second half. They've been very settled, they've stuck to their plans, they haven't tried to push it, and they've made good on that gap. Fantastic strategy and a fantastic mindset that will carry them a long way.
Yeah, and off the back of a strong defensive effort as well. You know, they've put on 7 tries, but then just the ability to apply pressure defensively in the second half. They managed to find that 2-try buffer early in the half as well. So all the hallmarks of a good team here, Te Ātihaunui. We'll see if they can kick on, and as they get a play through call from Pātea, we'll see if they can kick on throughout this tournament and find themselves in the final at the back end.
Aira, he roa tonu te whakataitai, he mahanga kēmu kei te haere, he mea nui tērā mā Waikato Tainui. Kia haere tonu, kia whakapono tonu. A lot of games to come, a long time left in the tournament, so a big one for Waikato Tainui to keep their heads up. Know that they've got plenty of time to pick it back. Engari, koera te mutunga o te kēmu e te whānau, kua kahawhawhai ngā tima e rua. Kari te mutunga ko te Ātihaunui, kua toa mā te rua. Whetū ki te rima ki runga i a Waikato Tainui. That is the end of the game e te iwi. Te Ātihaunui-ā-Pāpārangi getting up by 2.7 to 5 of Waikato Tainui. Kua tata, kua hikaka. It's been a close and exciting fixture. Nō reira kaua e tā wāhi e te iwi. Do not go far. Ka hoki a koe nei ki tētai kēmu anō. We'll be back soon here in Rotorua.